Yesterday, the UN engaged in its favorite triangular hobby, fudge facts, politicize analysis, and attack the state of Israel. Here's Mary McCowan-Davis, a New York lawyer and chair of the UN's Independent Commission of Inquiry that just issued its report on last summer's conflict in Gaza. Watch.
The attacks on homes and families, which led to large numbers of family members dying together when their homes were struck in the middle of the night or as they were gathering for the iftar meal. These attacks had particular consequences for children. Approximately 551 children died last summer in Gaza during the fighting.
No shocks there. The UN loves to hate Israel by portraying Israeli Defense Force pilots as devils in the sky, as child-killing murderers. They're using this report as a way to spread that hate across the world. That said, the UN also loves the hypocrisy of double standards. Consider this quote from the Commission about its belief that, quote, impunity prevails across the board for violations of international humanitarian law and international human rights law allegedly committed by Israeli forces. McGowan continues, quote, Israel must break with its recent lamentable track record in holding wrongdoers accountable, not only as a means to secure justice for victims, but also to ensure the necessary guarantees for non-repetition. What about Hamas? What criticism does the suicide bombing cabal receive? Not a lot. Here's how Judge McCowan describes their conduct. Quote, with regard to Palestinian armed groups, the Commission has serious concerns with regard to the inherently indiscriminate nature of most of the projectiles directed toward Israel with these groups and to the targeting of civilians, which violate international humanitarian law and may amount to a war crime. Note the language there. This is important. Instead of describing Hamas as the terrorist group that it is, a violent organization that blows up teenagers in nightclubs and commuters on buses and shoppers in the street, the UN describes Hamas as an armed group. And the UN report laughably, or perhaps tragically, refuses to label Hamas atrocities as war crimes. It says those atrocities may be war crimes, perhaps. We're just not sure. How absurd. This is the UN's logic, though. Israel targets Hamas fighters hiding behind civilians, therefore Israel is a war criminal state. But if Hamas targets Israelis indiscriminately, it may be committing war crimes. See the difference there? The double standard is blatant. But that said, there's nothing new here. The UN establishment, a liberal elite of lawyers, diplomats, and development workers, has always hated Israel. They hate Israel's success. They hate Israel's willingness to defend itself and its decisive resolve to stand up proudly for its ideals. And for whatever reason, don't ask me, they love the false mystique of victimization with which anti-Israel terrorist groups like Hamas have veiled themselves, proclaiming all of the Palestinian people's suffering to be the fault of Israel. The UN ignores the atrocities that Hamas commits every day. Its use of children as human shields, of civilian homes as bunkers, of schools as arms depots, of cities as fortresses, and of innocent lives as props for the advancement of an evil ideology, jihadism, and the subjugation of human freedom. But I digress. The UN is a disgrace, and this report proves why.